Okay, I am going to make a different video from the one that I had planned to make. I had a whole series of videos planned for this channel, all lined up, at least the next 12. But a couple of things have happened that means I'm derailing that plan. I was going to talk today about certain aspects of that and why tie into a concept called the taste gap. But the truth is, I am shattered at the moment. I don't know if it's going to show up on camera. I don't know who knows me well enough, but I am tired, like really, really tired today. And because of that, I wasn't going to make a video at all. But at the moment, with everything I'm trying to do, relaunching this channel, trying to turn my life around, trying to make health changes and things like that, I have given myself certain non negotiables, minimum efforts, because when you're trying to make changes, so much of it is just about turning up. Just show up and do what you'd promised yourself you would do, no matter how tired or shattered you might be. Now, if I was ill, properly ill, then maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I would just give a very brief voiceover. No, I still would. That's the point. At this point, at this moment, non negotiables, what I would do is I would upload a time lapse and I would have a written description, probably on screen, explaining why I'm not making an actual video today. But because I'm not ill, I'm just tired, so tired. I decided I would make at least an effort to film something and then edit it, because the editing part is actually not as mentally taxing as trying to make these videos and stay coherent. So I am making a video with a slightly different format because I can put the effort into a change in the format that I want to make, which you're seeing at the moment, starting with me inside this video player, and then still a time lapse next to me and stuff like that. So rather than just sit here and moan about being tired and why I'm tired, I will talk a little bit about actually that the whole point of showing up and doing anything, right? Just anything at all towards what it is that you're trying to achieve, whatever it is. Like I said, if you're ill and it's literally stopping you from achieving, then there's nothing you can do about that, right? If you've got debilitating flu or, God forbid, far worse than that, then of course, right, you just can't. But if you're ill, you're tired, you don't feel great, then you want to find the bare minimum you can do towards the goals that you're trying to achieve. So in this case, this whole idea of non-negotiables based around the ways that I'm trying to change my life. And part of that is my health and fitness, right? I've made that a non-negotiable. And for the last 20 days, every other day without fail, I've gone to the gym. Even on days where I've woken up, even on days where I felt like I feel now and I'm absolutely shattered, it's like, no, this is a non negotiable. Go to the gym, just walk for 20 minutes on a treadmill. And the same goes for projects and creative pursuits and trying to learn something new, trying to make any change in your life. You have to make it a non negotiable. And by that, I mean that there are also other things in your life that are non negotiables for the majority of the time. But when you're trying to change your life, they are even more important. For example, if you've got a job, going to that job, doing that job is a non negotiable. They pay you to do that thing. You get up and you go and do it, even though you absolutely do not want to go and do that thing. You get up and you go and do it anyway because it's a non negotiable. You just have to. Yes, you might take sick days here and there, but I would argue when you're trying to do your own thing, when you're trying to change your own life on an absolute bare minimum effect, you shouldn't just take sick days for the sake of it. Like I said, that means that you should do like a bare minimum. The bare minimum for me is to not sit and write the script or follow the bullet point outlines I've already got here and try and make something where I know mentally and physically I am not focused and energized enough to really be able to concentrate on that. I have filmed the opening to this video so many times because I am tripping over words. I am forgetting what it is that I'm even trying to talk about. I am questioning whether what I'm trying to talk about is worthwhile or any of those things. But at this stage, at this point in me trying to get a YouTube channel off the ground, then making a video once a week is a non-negotiable. I don't know how long this is going to take me to make. It's already taken me, I mean, I've already been speaking for 6.5 minutes, and it's already taken me a good 25 minutes to get to this cut, this take, if you like, if this is the one I'm going to use. It is the one I'm going to use, by the way. You'll see by the fact that you're watching it right now, because the point is you just have to do that. And it's the same with everything else that I'm trying to do. At the moment, with the War Cradle work, there is a project that I'm trying to get finished. And while I'm part time, my hours are extremely flexible in that company. And they don't mind me as long as I'm doing the hours they're paying me for. They don't mind how I shuffle them around. So at the moment, I have dragged all of the time from February forward into what was basically December and January. And so I have done all of February's work on top of the work that I did over December and January to try and get this project finished. And that has meant that when I combine that with also trying to make these health changes, but also trying to maintain momentum on my own projects, it means that I am trying to juggle all of those things at the same time. And on top of that, I'm just not getting any sleep. I'm just not getting any more than like a 90-minute stretch. I mean, I stay in bed for the period of time I'm meant to be asleep. But in all reality, I'm getting like probably 4.5 hours a night, if that. And while I've always been a light sleeper, that little sleep is rare for me. And so, as I said, on top of everything else, going to the gym regularly, changing my diet, trying to do my own work. Now, there's a very good argument for that I'm trying to do too much in one go. I don't agree actually anymore with that. I am not trying to rewrite history here. I'm trying to build a consistent routine at the gym. I'm trying to eat healthier. I'm trying to work on my own projects whilst doing work for the company that I work for, that I only work for part time. At some point, you have to take accountability for those things and start to build in non negotiables. There are people out there that do far more than I'm doing right now. This is more a kind of miniature whinge because I'm tired, really, is what it is. But in this attempt to not just come on here and complain, I am also trying to make a point about this idea of non-negotiables. What you tell yourself, what you promise yourself you're going to do, what you promise others you're going to do, you have to make the bare minimum effort towards those things on the days that you've set out to do that. I have promised that I would make one video a week, and I have promised that I would try not to just whinge on those videos. Therefore, I am trying to make a point here about these non-negotiables. The point of this video isn't that I'm tired and I haven't had the time and I haven't done this and that. The point is that even through all of those things, I am still trying to make this video and make a more positive point than me just complain about that. Even though I'm doing this other work, even though I'm getting up and I'm shattered and it's a day that I meant to go to the gym, one of these yellow colored post-it notes. This is for the week coming, right? And I've got publish written down here. Have I got anything there I'm not supposed to show anybody? No. So, and these are the days that I've got to work for the rest of this week, the orange ones. On those days, it's a non-negotiable. I see that post-it note, I get up. And as much as I might sit over there in a chair and be like, I just don't want to go and do that today. It's like, just go and do it. You have to. And so you get up and do it. And doing work on the game, doing work on Jules, doing this YouTube video. It's like, what is the minimum I can do today? The non-negotiable is getting started on something. But once I've got started on something, that old adage, which to me has always felt like that's all right for you to say because you're clearly motivated, It's very true that if you just get on with something, you usually end up doing about an hour at the minimum. And then your brain might be like, that's it, I'm done. So on the days that I'm supposed to be doing some work on Jules or some work on the game or whatever, in the same way that these days that I'm supposed to be working for War Cradle, they're just non-negotiables, right? I just don't miss those days. They pay me to work. Therefore, I do the work. Now, yes, I could technically take one of these off of here and move it down here. They wouldn't care because the hours are so flexible that I'm trying to get this project finished by the end of next week. And then I want that 3 months to be able to then really focus on, I'll do a whole bunch of YouTube videos so that I do have a backlog. I'll do a whole lot of work on the game. So that's my point, is I wanted to make a video. I didn't want to just come on here and complain, even though it kind of feels like I did. My complaints are actually a part of my point. It is that through that, the fact that I was sat over there and I was tired and I was like, it just doesn't matter if you don't make a video. Yeah, it really does matter if you don't make a video, because if you can't do the bare minimum just because you're tired or just because you're overwhelmed, and not to say that those things aren't bad, because they are, Lord knows I go through them, but if I can't put in the bare minimum, then at what point do I expect any of this stuff to turn around or work out for me? And I think that's the same for anybody else. Now, on a more coherent day, I might do a proper video about non-negotiables, about just turning up and doing the bare minimum as if it was your job. And that's the truth of it, right? Is you have to treat these aspects of change like they're your job, like they're your genuine commitments to other people. Commitment to yourself. This is the point, right? The commitment to yourself is so much more important than all of those other commitments. Therefore, they should become non-negotiables in the same way those other commitments are, no matter how painful or difficult that might feel at the time. Anyway, I am going to leave it here because I just don't have the energy, and I'll just end up waffling on the same subject, and I'm sure I'll end up complaining about something else, and I don't want to do either of those things. So I will leave it here. Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Neil. Cheers for watching.